This woman connected with their family pastor to kill her husband in order to prevent him from discovering a very dirty secret that would not only bring shame to her, but would also destroy their marriage. It all began when Beatrix informed her husband, engineer Kelvin Gabriel, that she was pregnant. This was the kind of news that would throw a lot of couples into a mood of celebration. But this was not the case with Kelvin. Kelvin was the deputy manager in the engineering department of an oil company in Houston, Texas. The couple had been married for about 18 years and had 3 children between them, all of whom were boys. Kelvin was frequently away from home for work reasons. As such, the news came as a huge surprise to him, and it didn't make any sense for his wife to become pregnant while he was away. This made him question the paternity of the unborn child, thereby accusing his wife of engaging in extramarital affairs. This accusation created a rift between the couple, and they lost the harmony that used to exist in their matrimonial home. He reported the matter to his family as well as his in-laws. Kelvin insisted that he was not the father of the child his wife was currently pregnant with. The 2 families involved tried their best to resolve the issue, but there was really nothing much they could do at their end to convince him that there was no way his wife of 18 years would impose another man's pregnancy on him. The family then came to the conclusion that after she had given birth to the child, they would conduct a DNA test to confirm who the true father of the child was. This may have seemed like a perfect solution to the situation at hand, but unknown to them, their suggestion of a DNA test had awoken some darkness in Beatrix, and this darkness would kickstart a chain of events that would not only leave the entire family in a state of shock, but would also leave them with long-lasting pains. Some days after this meeting, Kelvin's dead body was found inside his car along Sape Road, Houston. The car had been burnt beyond recognition. The police were informed, and they headed to the scene to carry out their preliminary investigations. The officers noticed that the deceased man had been stabbed in the chest before being burnt. They were also able to establish the identity of the deceased to be Kelvin. Beatrix was taken into custody as they began their investigation into uncovering the circumstances surrounding the tragic death of her husband. During the investigation, the police found out that she had filed a missing persons report on behalf of her husband just a day before he was found dead in his car. They also discovered that she had allegedly gone to her husband's office to inform them that her husband was missing. She was said to have also gone to the bank to withdraw the sum of $4 million from their joint bank account. The police also discovered that Kelvin's official car was missing. They traced the missing car to a building where they discovered that the original vehicle registration plate number had been taken off and then replaced with a fake one. The police arrested the tenant in the building for questioning. Upon interrogation, the tenant informed them that the discovered car was parked by a fellow tenant who was a pastor. The police then tracked and arrested Pastor David for questioning. At the station, Pastor David told the police that the car was given to him by one of his members in church as a seed offering. The detectives then ordered him to take them to the church member. To their greatest surprise, the church member in question was Beatrix. Before the police began their investigations, she was said to have denied any involvement in her husband's death. However, after the pastor was arrested, she would go on to disclose details that would earn her a death sentence. She began to explain to the police how the car ended up in the pastor's possession. She told the police that when she noticed her husband was missing, she took her husband's new car to the pastor to sow as a seed in his church so that her husband would be found. She claimed she told the pastor to take the car to the church and that she didn't know he went on to change the plate numbers. She claimed she had asked the pastor to pray harder because she loved her husband and wanted him to be found, safe and sound. At this point, the family had told the police about her pregnancy and how the late husband had denied being responsible for it. When the police asked her if she was having an extramarital affair with the pastor, she said, "God forbid," and denied ever having an affair with the pastor. She went on to shed light on their relationship. According to her, Pastor David was a close and trusted family friend. She claimed they would give him clothes to go and share at the orphanage. She also said they trusted him so much that they would give him their ATM card so that he could withdraw the necessary funds needed to take care of their poultry whenever she traveled with her husband. Beatrix also denied having any quarrel with her late husband. She claimed that she only got to find out about her husband's death at the police station. The pastor, in his confession, told the police that he had been the family pastor for years and that sometimes he would assist the couple in picking up their children from school. He told the police that when Beatrix called him on that fateful day and said to him that she wanted to give him a car to sow as seed offering in his church, he asked her why she would bring it to him in the middle of the crisis. She replied that her husband was worth more than any material thing. He also told the detectives that he changed the plate numbers because any gifts given to pastors had to be changed in that manner so that he could drive it. The police noticed that Pastor David had burn injuries on his hand. When asked how he sustained the injuries, he claimed that hot water spilled on him while trying to make tea. The police were not convinced by his confessions, so they decided to investigate further. They made a breakthrough, and Pastor David finally confessed to killing Kelvin. It turned out that, after Kelvin accused his wife of infidelity and also made the decision to conduct a DNA test after the birth of the child, his wife, out of fear of being found out, decided to make sure that the truth never came to light. It was reported that she told Pastor David to wait at the road her husband usually passed through to work, and that when he saw him, he should ask for a ride. The plan played out, and on that fateful day, Pastor David stood along the road and, when he sighted Kelvin coming, he waved and asked him for a ride, which he granted. However, along the way, Pastor David was said to have brought out a sharp object, which he used to hit Kelvin on the neck. He then opened the car tank and took out some petrol, which he used to set the vehicle on fire. The injury on his hand was sustained while setting the car on fire. The police arrested the mechanic who assisted him in changing the plate numbers on the deceased's car. They also arrested a business center operator who assisted in forging the car documents. All 4 suspects were arraigned before the state high court. Beatrix gave birth to the child while imprisoned. A DNA test was conducted as earlier planned, and the results came back to prove that Pastor David was indeed the real father of the child. Beatrix and Pastor David were sentenced to death by hanging, while the 2 other accomplices were sentenced to 2 years' imprisonment with an option of a fine. Beatrix, who was not satisfied with the verdict, proceeded to the Court of Appeal to have her verdict and sentence reversed. The appeal court dismissed her appeal and upheld the judgment given by the High Court. Still unsatisfied by this outcome, she proceeded to the Supreme Court, where she was acquitted of all charges and set free. As we've seen in this heartbreaking story, dishonesty and betrayal can lead to unimaginable pain and tragedy. If you ever find yourself in a difficult situation, remember that there are always better ways to handle it than resorting to lies, manipulation, or violence. Let's learn from this story and strive to build relationships founded on trust, communication, and integrity. Thank you for watching True Life Stories. If you found this story eye-opening, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more real-life lessons. Until next time, stay safe and stay true to yourself.